Stan Gibilisco here to describe an experiment that you might like to try with an electromagnet and a common magnetic hiker's compass. You build the AC electromagnet in the same way that I've described in the other video showing how to build an AC electromagnet. Basically what you do is you take a fused power strip and an electric space heater rated at 1500 watts, 117 volts in the United States. You plug the electric space heater into the power strip, but what you do with the power strip is sever one of its lines, and in place of the wire you place an electromagnet comprising a stove bolt, large steel or galvanized stove bolt with a couple of nuts. I described that in the other video as well. You simply screw the nuts onto the bolt, stop them with electrical tape here, wrap the wire around and around and around the bolt in a tight single layer coil and tape over that to keep it in place. Number 16 or number 14 gauge wire should work very well for this purpose, preferably solid insulated copper wire. It's important that it be insulated, and that will result in an electromagnet that produces an alternating magnetic field. The electric space heater limits the current through this wire so that it won't overheat and blow the fuse in the breaker or the fuse in your house, or worse. You don't want this thing to carry too much current, so this is what this electric space heater is for, not to make you warm or hot, but to simply limit the current through the wire. The result of that, AC through this electromagnet, is an alternating magnetic field. Now, what do you suppose will happen if you bring one end or the other of this AC electromagnet, so it shouldn't matter which end is which, the field is alternating at 60 hertz in the United States, 50 hertz in much of the rest of the world. Bring it right up towards the compass as the compass is already aligned so that the needle points north. Align that compass with the electromagnet well away from the compass so that it doesn't influence it at all. Bring this AC electromagnet near the compass, right up to the north pole end of the needle. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that the needle is going to turn and stay rotated to any degree? Do you think it's going to turn around and around and around real fast in a circle? Do you think it's going to just vibrate, sit there and vibrate? What do you think is going to happen when you do this? You'll find out if you perform the experiment described in my book, Electricity Experiments You Can Do at Home, chapter Mag 13, published in 2010 by McGraw-Hill. And you'll find a lot of other bizarre experiments, some not so bizarre, some a little more off the wall than others. I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen, and neither am I going to tell you what happens if you decide to switch the power strip off, thereby depriving the electromagnet of its current. What do you think will happen to the compass needle then? You'd like to think nothing at all, that it'll return to pointing north. But are you sure? This is one of my favorite experiments because the results can turn out so unexpected. You can have all the theory in the world, but my physics professor at the University of Minnesota said, one experimentalist can keep a dozen theorists busy. I'd say it's more like 100 theorists, or even 1,000, because theory may say one thing, but the only way to find out what reality actually is to do a real life experiment. And this one might surprise you. Then again, it might not. Depends on what kind of imagination and what kind of luck you have. Stan Jubilisco signing off. Oh, by the way, these splices should always be well wrapped with electrical tape and enclosed in a junction box to conform to the National Electrical Code. Stan Jubilisco trying again to sign off. Until next time, so long.